Famous Radio podcast with your host, Jeffy McJefferson. Let's go.
And welcome to the Almost Famous Radio podcast. Jeffy McJefferson here, along with Recca.
Hey,
What's up, man?
you see it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Of course, we go around the table. We'll go across the table today.
Right.
I got the. What do you got?
I have a Ninkasi red IPA.
Yeah, interesting.
It's really, you're going to have one by the end of this. It's really good.
Probably after this, because I got Bodhisattva. Yeah, you know it. I love that stuff. Anyway, yeah, go ahead and explain what you were talking about, man, because what happened to you last weekend?
Well, it was opening weekend deer season, and we were out, and I managed to catch nothing but poison oak, so it's really cool.
Yeah, poor Ricker, man, his arms are all jacked, and he got it in his eye.
Yeah, it's not good, but hopefully I'll get taken care of this week. And it's not, it's really funny. It comes and goes how irritating it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you don't even notice it, even though you're covered in it.
Yeah.
Then other times it's like, I want to scratch the shit out of every piece of skin I got.
Yeah. Are you giving out Halloween candy this year? I'm saying, use it to your advantage here.
Yeah, I may or may not. I don't know. I usually do, but I always end up, it's like, I don't know. The kids, they just don't come through the neighborhood. Like, I don't think it's as big of a deal as it used to be for us.
Well, I'm the same because we Red goes couponing and all that kind of jazz, and she's got like a bunch of Halloween candy that she gets for next to nothing, of course.
Of course.
And we never get kids hardly here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. The only, and I'm great with, I'm fine with the little kids coming through. But, when it gets towards 9 o'clock and it gets to be teenagers with pillowcases and,
Well, 9 o'clock, that's way past.
It's like, I'm done. You guys go buy your own candy.
What does it even fall on this year? I didn't even look to see what day it fell on.
It's probably going to be like a Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, so it's a weekday.
Yeah, I think so. Might even be Thursday.
And plus, what those trunk or treat things have like started. They've really taken over for kids and parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, where it's you go to a place and yeah.
Because I mean, like, the myth of the razor blades and the apples.
I know.
Lord knows where that started. You've heard of that. You've heard it.
Oh, sure. When I was a kid, we all heard it.
We were kids, man. We were like, oh, yeah. So, number one, it's like if somebody gives you an apple, it's like, fuck that.
Yeah, it's not candy.
I want the candy. Yeah. And number two, I don't know where that razor blade shit started, but it's like, come on.
Well, you never know. It may have had some kind of origin and truth, but how long ago was this? And where was it at?
It was a long, and because you never seen real reports of it, I guess.
I never heard one when I was a kid.
You should Google it because you got Google now. And I never knew it. Nobody in our neighborhood even gave out apples.
No, hell no.
And they gave out big candy bars then too. They didn't have these little bite-sized sons of bitches.
Yeah, and it was. I remember it was either candy or. Do you remember those little booklets that the church would give out? It was like a picture book of a Bible story. Do you remember those getting passed out during Halloween?
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the 1 year difference between you and I. It probably stopped right with me.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just like, but.
That's what it was. It was always wrap candy or those.
The wrap candy was that came in the orange and black. They're kind of like peanut butterish or something.
Yeah.
They were okay, but I could always do without candy corn.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I every once in a while It tastes okay, but it's like so rarely. It's so sweet. It makes your teeth,
Yeah.
slime over.
And then you got always got the good old sweet tarts and
Right.
and the Chico sticks.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And then the candy bars and stuff like that. That was cool.
Right.
But yeah, I guess they did have the miniatures back then. But they were all like Hershey's miniatures and
Right.
And I know when I was a kid, I didn't like the dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate now, but back then I felt ripped off.
Right.
When you got dark chocolate.
Instead of milk chocolate.
Instead of milk chocolate or like a crunch bar or whatever they had in them, in the almond thing or what, Good Bar, Mr. Good Bar.
Mr. Good Bar, yeah.
So, yeah, we were talking at Cartwright's today. This is totally off the Halloween subject, but about, because you and I, we like music.
Yeah.
We're, in the words of Joe Dirt, rockers through and through.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we were talking about successful singers with shitty voices. And we can start with you. And first one you can start with, and then let's talk about why.
I think that well, it was actually yours when we were talking before, but my number one's got to be Springsteen.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has to fall in the top spot.
I don't understand it either.
I don't
understand. Sorry, I don't understand the obsession with him.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe they put on a really good live show. I don't know. I'd never go because I don't like the music particularly at all.
A couple songs I don't mind. I hate the fact that they call Born to Run a rock anthem. The rock anthem of all rock. Don't tell me what a rock anthem is. It's not that.
Yeah, it isn't.
I hate the song.
Yeah.
I like the stuff I like Glory Days and stuff like that, but nothing major. I can't really think of good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you're going to go for a drive just to listen to it. If it comes on the radio and you feel like it, you won't turn it off. That's as close as you get to liking it.
Right. One of mine, and we were like I said, we talked about it. It's like Bob Dylan.
Absolutely.
The guy's voice is like terrible.
Yep.
And he's iconic to people.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously, I don't think I've heard any song of his that he sings.
Right.
Okay. I had to clarify that because we were talking about
Hendrix,
yeah.
Along the Watchtower.
Right. But any song of his, and then he's got that goofy microphone holder, and then he plays harmonica.
Yeah.
He's got that goofy harmonica holder, and he plays harmonica too.
Yeah.
Which harmonica drives me bats.
Does it really?
I don't even know. Is there any good songs with harmonica? Besides, I don't even know if that is. Well, Alvin and the Chipmunks, he wanted a harmonica, but. But.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Is there any good harmonica songs?
Oh, my gosh. Now I'm going to have to think about that, and I don't. Not really. Not really. Not that I can think of.
Did Piano Man from Billy Joel have harmonica? Was that a harmonica?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think that may be the only tolerable
Probably.
harmonica song.
Yeah, I think that is. I think that is a harmonica.
Yeah, and so any harmonica song for me is out.
Pretty much.
Thumbs down, way down, hugely down.
Yeah, okay. So we got Dylan and we got Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
So it's back to me.
We can just talk about any of the guys that we talked about today because I think we should.
Okay, well, Neil Young,
Neil Young has a shitty voice.
Yep. He might have been good in harmony with, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, but again, as a solo act, yikes.
I could deal with Rockin' in the Free World. I kind of like that song. Just
Okay.
The lyrics I really don't give a shit about that much, but on that, and usually I like songs because of lyrics, but I just kind of think the song's kind of cool sounding.
It is.
But other
He's not a bad songwriter. He's not a great songwriter, but he's not a bad songwriter. He had some okay songs, but again, overrated and terrible voice.
Thanks to Ronnie Van Zant calling his ass out. Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
Right. Yeah.
Because they don't need him around.
That's it.
He can fuck off.
Go back to Canada.
Go back to Canada, or do whatever you need to do. And that's all perfectly fine. We kind of disagreed on David Lee Roth.
Yeah,
I know you liked him.
I like him, and I thought that he was a good compliment to the music. But he is not. He is nobody's. He's not a great singer. But he sounded good. Like I said, the first 3 or 4 albums that they put out were all good. They were all great.
I liked them.
Yep.
And I was also talking about Sammy when he joined the band. I really liked Sammy when he joined the band. I know that we kind of got a little disappointed in Ed because he wanted to do a lot of keyboards and shit.
Right.
But he started that with David Lee Roth. And like I said, Jump.
He did.
That song Jump, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they jumped right out of there at that point because they sucked.
Well, I got to hand it to Roth because he was kind of getting pissed off at it. He wanted to keep, rock solid songs. And
right.
He didn't want to throw keyboards in there.
Yeah.
And they did.
Well,
that's Ed's band, so what the hell are you going to do? You going to fight him?
No.
So then Sammy came along, and they did a few things with keyboards and stuff like that, man, but at least, it brought another guitar into the fold.
It did.
And so that's what I loved about it, too. And plus, I like Sammy Hagar, so that helps.
Yeah, and Hagar's got I wouldn't say a great voice, but he's a better singer than David Lee Roth.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think that's
better.
pretty apparent.
Yeah.
Now, where did we went to that.
We went to some shitty singers.
Yeah.
Even you said Hendrix wasn't a great singer.
No, but
serviceable.
Yeah. And he did okay. That's like oh gosh dang it, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a good singer, but not a great singer.
He was I thought he was really good for the style of music he played.
His voice was very complimentary of of that, type of blues music.
It's funny because I was talking, I was about to leave Cartwright's. You had left before, and Caroline and Krista was there, and I did mention this, and I said, most successful singer with a shitty voice, and the first thing that popped up in her was Janis Joplin.
Oh, so
Krista, that was her first one, right up the top of her head.
Yeah,
and I agreed with her totally.
Yeah, it was a screeching.
Not one song of hers I like. None.
I can tolerate them, but it's not something I'd seek out.
Absolutely not. No, I would just soon go through a root canal or something.
Not
like that.
Worth throwing stones at.
Oh hell no!
As you like to say,
couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
And like I said, Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull, can't stand Jethro Tull. And then I think his voice, and it's just aqualung.
Yeah.
Come on. And what the fuck is an aqualung?
And
then every song, a lot of songs he come up with after that, he brought up aqualung in the lyrics.
Right.
I'm like, okay, whatever the hell that is. I probably should look it up. A lot of people are probably going to know, oh, come on, dumbass. You don't know what aqualung is? But I know it's a song, and I know the song sucks. And I know that he freaking kept bringing up aqualung after that. And I'm like, that's terrible, terrible, terrible stuff.
Yeah, I don't have the hatred for it that you do, but again, another band that I wouldn't seek out.
Very much hatred.
Yeah, well.
Because it just sucks. And who else were we talking about?
Gosh dang. Boy, I thought we started talking about singers that were underrated.
Well, we
after
did
that, but I'm sure I'm missing some.
Yeah, because I didn't think Plant was good, and you thought Plant was all right.
Yeah, I think he was pretty decent.
You know, and stuff like that. I don't like his voice ain't great, but he, you know, he's.
Yeah, but again, there's one of those things where it's like, could you put anybody else singing those songs? Can you think of anybody who'd do it better?
I don't know. And see, I love Ozzy. I love his music, but I think his voice stinks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just don't. You know. I mean,
great songs.
Great songs. Great.
Some freaking great albums.
And of course, he's gonna. You know, that's as we said before. You know, a lot of. Compliments to complimentary to the style of music that they did,
right?
Things like that, but voice wise, not so much.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had some trouble thinking of successful singers with great voices in the rock side, or even on we mentioned a couple of other ones, but
yeah, I mean,
another shitty one, real quick, Willie Nelson.
Yeah, no doubt,
terrible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really don't even like his song. I don't know a Willie song I like. On the Road Again makes me want to kick somebody in the teeth.
It wasn't You Were Always on My Mind, isn't that one of his?
You know, I guess that was tolerable.
I think not by him, but there were other people that sang it that
right.
Okay, it was pretty deep,
Yeah.
It was okay.
It's kind of a good song.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and give him a little bit of props for that, even though that
Yeah, but he quit smoking weed, so that's a
what an idiot. Because what is he like? what I mean, because like what is he? I know I'm not a proponent of weed smoking, but he's like what 90 some odd years old.
Yeah,
and he drank and he smoked pot and he did all this other shit, and then he. He lived till he's living into his 90s, and then he stopped. I mean, I'm just waiting for him to croak over just because.
Right,
of the fact
the detox kills him.
I mean, what do you got to lose now? I mean, you're
right.
like you're living on borrowed time anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, and this guy's like, okay, so I'm going to stop smoking. Yeah, right. I don't believe it one bit anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I just have a hard time believing that. If he stopped smoking weed, yeah, I'd believe. Like Seth Rogen, if he said it, I definitely call him a liar. So
right,
I think that Willie Nelson saying it is just as much of a liar as Seth Rogen, even though Seth Rogen didn't say it. But I'm just saying.
Right, if he would have said it, you would have said called bullshit on it right there.
Yeah, call him bullshit. Totally bullshit. So on the other hand, the successful singers ahead. Great voices, either rock or even some of the country stuff. We had a few.
Yeah,
we had a harder time thinking about
it. It's not an easy one. You said Tommy Shaw, and I think that's probably. I'd say Tommy Shaw was probably up there, and possibly underrated too.
I think underrated because Dennis DeYoung got most of the pub on that. But,
right.
And I didn't think Dennis DeYoung was that great, but
right,
he could sing pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Styx.
Yeah, they were fine. They were.
Oh, you know what? Successful singers, and this is one we didn't mention, and I'll bring it out right now. Ann and Nancy Wilson from Heart.
Yeah,
and also, I think Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie from Fleetwood
Mac. Yeah,
I don't think that they had any flaws in their voices, and they were all totally different, and it worked.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was one that just now popped in my mind.
Yeah, those are good ones. Because
I like Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, how many times has Rumors been said as the greatest rock album ever?
I totally will. I talked about that with Ron in the very first podcast, I think.
Did you?
And we were talking about, the best album ever, perfect album.
Right.
And to me, that was the perfect album.
Yeah.
I don't see there's no flaws in that album,
Right.
especially since they were all breaking up,
Right.
and it's just flat brutal the way the songs were.
Yeah, all freaking digs at each other.
Yeah, they were like totally.
And yet they came together and still made the music.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, and then even went on tour and stuff like that, and they're promoting the record and stuff like that, and then, but it was extremely brutal.
Yeah.
What they did, and then they ended up putting out one of the best albums probably ever.
Yeah.
Way better than any Beatles album.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because I'm not a Beatles fan. I think some of their stuff is okay, but it's a little too bubblegum for me. A lot of it, and then the rest of it's like stupid hallucination.
Yeah, psychedelic horseshit.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so, I don't get it. Maybe you could help me out on this, but everybody was like, okay, the Beatles were my inspiration to start being a musician, and I'm like, why? The only person I can think of the Beatles that would inspire me was George Harrison, because I think he's a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
But McCartney and Lennon, I just didn't think were badasses.
No, but they did have, some of their music was pretty decent.
They could write songs. I mean, I get that.
Yep.
But when they went out on their own, a couple of Lennon songs I thought was okay. Not the ones everybody's thinking. That Imagine song, I hate it.
Right.
That Strange Days Indeed song, I like it.
Yeah.
I don't even know really the title of that song.
I don't know.
And Paul McCartney, there's not much I really like.
No. Not a single thing.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the Wings music.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sorry.
And then they had, both of them have wives that were interjecting and everything, and they both couldn't sing worth a lick.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Screw that.
Yeah, and like you said, George Harrison. Now, well, you got to give props to Ringo.
Ringo's kind of good.
Ringo's
not a good singer, but
no, but I mean, as far as somebody who takes the place of somebody and rides it for all it's worth, and has been in a lot of good bands.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in Traveling Wilburys, right?
Was he?
I think so. I thought it was him. Wasn't it him, Orbison, Tom Petty? I
thought it was George Harrison, Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne of ELO, and did I say Orbison already?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, Tom Petty. I don't think Ringo was in. He might have played drums on it. I don't know.
Okay.
But
I thought he was in one of those combination bands.
I actually kind of like some of the Wilburys music.
Yeah, I do too.
There's another one, Tom Petty. We love Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Not a great voice.
Not a great voice.
His songs were phenomenal.
Yeah.
To me. And you too. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Great
yeah. He not a great singer, but
boy,
again, musically
some good songs.
Yeah. Put out a lot of good songs.
Damn good songs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was good. We said Steve Perry from Journey.
Steve Perry from Journey, definitely a great voice.
Not a big Journey fan.
Nope.
It's okay. I mean, it's, for your high school chicks and all that kind of stuff. And Neil Sean could play.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess Jonathan Cain was the keyboard player, and I guess he got together with Robert Palmer, and they had that, what was that group that they freaking put together? God dang it, it's like slipping my mind right now. I don't even have my phone to check it. But they had some cool songs.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Jeffy McJefferson here with a reminder you can check out the cast with pictures and bios on our website at afradiopodcast.buzzsprout.com. You can also send us fan mail there too, believe it or not. Stay updated with our Almost Famous Radio podcast page on Facebook. And if you want to send us the good, bad, and ugly, as well as topics you would love to hit on, go to almostfamousradiopodcast@gmail.com. Let's get back to the show. I sure wish I could remember the name of that band. I can't believe I don't. It's just slipping my mind. It sucks.
Yeah, I can't think either. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Power Station. That's what
Power
it was called.
Station.
Yeah, Power Station. Yeah. They were kind of a cool little, and there were a lot of those bands kind of started forming together, like that in the 80s and stuff like that from other bands like
Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees. I really like that band.
Yep.
That's Tommy Shaw and Ted.
Yep.
And Jack Blades.
Yep.
And then I liked, I really liked Asia, who was like Yes and some other.
Yeah, who was in that?
Good question, but I really they only put out like I think 2 albums, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But I loved Asia. And a lot of people make fun of it. They make fun of it in the 40-year-old version because he had that Asia poster in the framed.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I like the band, honestly. I played the crap out of that record, but yeah, it was kind of cool.
Another good one that we were talking about, and I this may be more on me than anybody, but sure. I think that Scott Weiland had a good voice.
I thought he did too.
I thought he had a good range, and he could sing a lot of different types of music.
Yeah.
The bullhorn kind of threw people.
Well, yeah.
But it was just his shtick.
That was just him.
Yeah. He was a weirdo.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And like I was telling you, Jeff Tate, I thought in rock was the best voice ever. I think from Queensryche.
Yeah.
And I think his range is just incredible. Just even on Silent Lucidity was like, just listen to Silent Lucidity, you can hear his full range.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, who had, okay, we didn't talk about him, but who had a really good voice and really unique voice to me was Paul Rodgers from Bad Company.
When you said something about what's his name from the Babies,
John Waite.
Mm-hmm. That's who I was going to say at the same time. It's like, yeah, Paul Rodgers.
Yeah.
And he's another one who floated between groups after Bad Company. He was in some band with a bunch of other.
Yeah, didn't they do a collab band or something?
Yeah, like I can't remember what it was. Gosh dang it!
I can't either.
This really sucks. You get over 60 and your freaking memory goes to shit.
Yeah, it's like it does suck, because that I forgot what band he did, but I really liked his voice. And actually, talking about Damn Yankees, I went to the Damn Yankees concert
Did you?
in Oklahoma, and Bad Company opened up for him, but it was like the other
non-Paul Rodgers.
Non-Paul Rodgers. Yeah. The guy could sing. He had a high range voice, but then that was the 80s for you.
Yeah.
And then I guess it was the 90s. No, it was the 80s. But yeah, and he had that big range of voice and stuff like that, like all the hair bands and stuff had, because you had to sing high. Like Sebastian Bach, who was great voice.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So you really had to have like high range voice to even thrive in the 80s hair band scene.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying.
Except for Bret Michaels, he didn't have to have a high voice.
Okay.
Poison. Because if you remember Poison songs, they're not like one of those high, Sebastian Bach type voice deals.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it! I was just thinking of somebody. Yeah, I can't remember. I'll remember in a second, I'm sure. Yeah, it's almost as hard. You know what it is sometimes you can't remember.
We went through a lot of great ones before we did shitty ones right there.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you kind of forget who really had good range and who didn't. Mm-hmm. Gosh dang. There's so many bands out there that you could talk about that had, singers that were either good or really not good.
Yeah, because like we were talking about Paul Stanley from Kiss, he was kind of a mid guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't great. He didn't suck, but he was okay. He had a decent voice.
Right.
And stuff like that. And Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, not a great voice, but like perfect for the music.
bands
ever.
So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and new stuff, I don't really, you know, I can't really, nothing comes to mind of the newer stuff, or at least not newer stuff, but I mean, even in the 90s rock and stuff like that, and then the newer stuff like that. I really can't think of a whole lot that blew my mind because, I like Foo Fighters, but, Grohl's voice is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you were saying, Kurt Cobain was never going to win awards for vocal range.
No.
Not going to happen.
I didn't think his voice was very good, but it was perfect for that genre. Perfect for that deal that, the game changer of music.
Yeah.
Of what they did was pretty incredible because coming off of the hair bands and stuff like that, and they just said, fuck you.
Yeah. We're
going grunge, we're going garage, we're going to do this stuff and come out with it, and people ate it up.
Yeah. Lane didn't have a great voice.
No.
He had a good voice, and he had a decent range, but he didn't have a great voice, but it was perfect for the music.
Yeah. Axl Rose was pretty good.
Axl Rose was pretty good, yeah.
And they helped usher out the hair bands as well.
They did. They were kind of that bridge between the two.
Yeah. Did you listen to a lot of hair bands? I think we all.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because that was rock then.
Right.
That's all
That's all it was. It was all metal hair bands.
Metal hair bands.
Yeah.
Rat and
Poison and freaking Cinderella and freaking Y&T.
Wasp. And then you got crap like Europe.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
That was terrible.
Who was in Night Ranger? And that Jack Blades was in Night Ranger? Or?
Yeah.
They were pretty decent. They were too
I like
bad.
Night Ranger.
Yeah. But they were one of those, 80s hair bands, kinda.
Yeah.
I guess they were kinda one of those.
It was in Branson when we were there, but we didn't get tickets to go see them.
Yeah, you just wonder
Probably
after.
should have, but they were like, man, concert tickets suck.
Yeah, nowadays they're way expensive.
Yeah, and because they had like this kind of it's kind of a festival-ish type thing, and they had a lot of bands, and you had to pay a shitload of money. And Night Ranger was in one of those. But
yeah, I my days of going to a concert that lasts more than 2.5 hours. No, I couldn't do it. That the idea of a all weekend freaking music festival. Yeah, I can listen to music in my car.
Yeah, I'd like to go see bands. I love live music, but there's nothing out there right now that I would pay to see.
No.
I mean, you could go see people at Brit for not too bad of a price.
Right.
But they have to be decent. I don't know who you would go see.
Every time I look at, because Brit publishes their lineup for the year, like in the spring.
Yeah.
And every time I look, it's like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah. And then, I mean, ZZ Top was out there, and I know this is going to be sacrilegious to people, but I can't stand ZZ Top.
Really?
I don't. No, I don't.
No, see, there's a good one. I think that Billy Gibbons, his singing voice is less than stellar.
Less than stellar, yeah. But yeah, they I never really. There's nothing that really turned me on about freaking ZZ Top.
See, I kind of like I kind of like that.
It's sacrilegious to a lot of people.
I don't think it's sacrilegious because if you don't like it, you don't like it. I
don't like it.
But again, I like it. I thought they were a good band. They were a good 3-piece band.
I'll give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't. I call them ZZ Slop. That was my name for them when they came out. I mean, I didn't really. There wasn't anything that really that like I was like, man, it's a pretty great song. I mean, you're singing songs about TV dinners and shit like that. I just don't, no.
See, I didn't, Eliminator kind of ruined them for me. I mean, I didn't really care for
that. Was a little too commercial.
Yeah, a little bit too commercial. I like De Guelo. That's a good album, but Yeah, not really, not so much.
Eagles, man, I love the Eagles.
Yeah, but I mean, look at all the talent they had. Oh my gosh,
there's singers out galore out of that one.
I mean, everybody could sing.
Everybody.
Hanley could sing.
Except for
Freaking
Joe Walsh.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Joe
okay.
Walsh. Joe Walsh's voice sucked, but you could tell it was Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, Glenn Fry could sing a storm up, and
God, yeah.
Hanley could sing, and
Timothy B. He could hit the high stuff. But yeah, that was a great band.
Yeah, they were.
We didn't talk about them earlier, but now we are. But yeah, because I do, man. There's not much Eagles that I don't like.
I've heard it so much that I'm kind of tiring of it.
Well,
I mean, it's been 40 years of it, 50 years of it being poured down your neck. Gets old. It's like Stairway to Heaven. You've heard it so many times that it's like it turns into an earworm. It's just I don't like it.
I didn't think that was a fantastic song anyway.
Stairway to Heaven.
It was okay. And it was not like oh God, Stairway.
Yeah. Same with freaking Freebird.
No, I like Freebird.
God. Yeah, I can't do it. No.
But I'm a Skinner fan.
I like Skinner, but I just that's one song that just freaking. It's just like Stairway to Heaven.
I liked a lot of other stuff before Freebird, but I did like Freebird. It's not like it wasn't. I don't know, man. I think we were talking about that. I do like it, man. That's almost a perfect song.
Freebird?
Yeah.
Maybe just for me.
I think we were talking about that with Ron. I think Freebird may be a perfect song.
It's perfect in some way for me.
Well, I know.
I'd perfectly like to never hear it again.
I don't know.
I can't do it.
I think it's like really good. I mean,
I'm not saying it's a bad song, just like Stairway to Heaven, but I've heard it too many times. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because, you got to, is there a perfect song for you? Because we were talking about, like I said, we're talking about that with Do It Live.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Because we talked about perfect album, and then we talked about, perfect song, or did it vice versa? One of the two. You go back and listen to it. It's episode 1, people. But, perfect song, and then we kind of agreed on Freebird on that because I think it is.
Yeah,
whether you've heard it a million times or not, it's just the song.
It's very good. I'll give it to you. It's very good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's perfect though. It's pretty good.
Close to it as you can get.
It's probably close.
I just don't know what's going to be a better perfect song than that.
Gosh, I can't think of anything that's.
Do you really want to hurt me by Culture Club? Is that better?
That's pretty freaking close. And you know what the answer to that question is?
Go wrong with Boy George.
Yeah, you know what the answer to the question is? Yes, I do. That's the answer to that question. Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, got to give Boy his credit right now.
Yeah,
I had a girlfriend that loved that fucking group back in the day, and I just couldn't stand it.
You know what? I don't really like pop music, but freaking Wham was good.
I gotta agree with
that freaking. There's somebody who had a freaking great voice. Was
George Michael.
George Michael,
yeah. Dude could sing.
He could sing anything.
Yeah.
They
had some. Yeah, they had a run.
Yeah.
And they had some pretty good songs.
I don't like pop dance music, but they were good.
They were good. Yeah.
And that was his talent, man. He was freaking phenomenally talented.
Wasn't a big "Wake Me Up Before You Go" song fan,
no.
But there was other stuff "Careless Whisper" was a fantastic song.
That's probably, in that genre, that's probably as close to a perfect song as there's ever going to be.
Yeah, that was a great song.
And it's really funny. I saw something on that, and it was about the band. I saw a documentary on the band, and there was like a bunch of different iterations of that song, and George Michael didn't like any of them until he got to that one. They went through a bunch of different, well, I don't know, a bunch. They went through more than one recording studio and more than one producer.
Yeah.
And the cut that everybody knows was not the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted it perfect.
Well, it was close to it.
Yeah.
Not Freebird, but right there.
Okay.
There we Okay. Yeah, here's okay. Real quick. Go ahead. No, you had.
Well,
something.
I was going to say, you don't like beach music, right? You're not a Beach Boys or
Oh hell no! I think. Oh God, that shit drove me nuts.
really?
Yeah, I did. I think David. Okay, you know what I think about David Lee Roth's voice, and I think his version of California Girls was better than the Beach Boys.
You know what? I think I have to agree with that.
So there's where I stand. There's where I stand on that kind of
I see. No, I like it because there's a lot of harmonies involved, and freaking Brian Wilson was a genius in that.
I love harmonies too, and I do. I think that it's great. I think Crosby, Stills, and Nash's harmonies are legendary.
Right.
But I just couldn't do Beach Boys, man. I just can't do the fucking Beach Boys. It just irritated the living shit out of me.
Now that's funny because I like that. I like that music.
Well, that kind of cracks me up a little bit. I would not have thought that at all. I wouldn't think that. Hey, Ricker, you're a Beach Boys man by trade.
Well, you better Monday morning when I go to work, you better freaking have it tuned up and ready to go
The
on.
Beach Boys?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One of the 80s bands you were talking about, it was kind of whammish. But Tears for Fears, I thought a lot of their songs are pretty good, except for that Shout song. I hated it.
Yeah.
Because, we always sang it like shout, shout, let it all out.
Yeah.
This is a song we can do without.
Right.
And shit like that. Because the song blew ass. Everybody Wants to Rule the World is a great song to me.
Pretty good. It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had some decent stuff, and I wasn't really a big fan of theirs, but I thought that they had some good stuff.
No, it's like Wham or freaking Duran Duran. There's songs in there you like.
Damn, dude, I'm glad you brought up Duran Duran because I liked them.
I think that their music was,
I think it
well
got
done.
progressively worse.
Right.
Okay, but I did like Duran Duran, especially some of the early stuff. But then again, I liked early Nickelback, and the rest of their shit sucked after that too. Their early stuff was good.
It was.
And then all of a sudden they went to hell in a handbasket.
There's a lot of bands like that. Like their first,
Bon Jovi. Okay, Bon Jovi. Okay, let me get this out real quick while I'm thinking about it. Their first two records, their self-titled one and then 7,800 Degree Fahrenheit. I thought it was even better than Slippery When Wet. And that's what they're big known for.
Right.
But I'll even give Slippery When Wet props just because it was a good record.
Right.
But after that, it blew ass.
Yeah.
He went Ballad City, kind of like Dennis DeYoung did to Styx.
Right.
All he wanted to do after he did that Babe song, all he wanted to do was fucking ballads. And then REO Speedwagon, which I liked.
Right.
And then Kevin Cronin, same deal.
Yeah.
He was like, I worked years and years and years on this song, and then he started playing it, and I was like, oh, no, not that.
You wasted your time, dude. Go back to writing. Try again.
And that was, I can't fight this feeling. That's what it was.
There you go.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, shit, man. You guys had way better shit than that. You worked years on that.
Right.
I got to say that you wasted a lot of time, like you said.
Yeah.
But REO, I liked them. I liked them before High Fidelity.
Yeah, they were okay. They weren't one of my favorite bands, but they were okay.
Yeah, good stuff. And Jerry Richrath could play guitar pretty good.
Yeah,
So, but bands that were progressively sucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
Poor Guns N' Roses. They put out such a great first album. And everything.
Yeah, how do you repeat that?
Like I said, Nickelback. But there's probably others.
Yeah, there's got to be others because I
Anybody out there?
I think you probably get into some of the grunge bands, and
Okay.
I think that's where you see a lot of drop off, and part of it is Cobain died, so they couldn't go any further.
Right.
But their first album was great.
You just brought up a couple of guys that I think that just because of the grunge shit. Oh God, Soundgarden's.
Oh yeah, gosh dang it.
This is pissing me off.
I know.
Chris Cornell.
Cornell, yeah.
Okay, Chris Cornell. Huge, great voice.
Yeah.
Chester Bennington.
There's another one,
Freaking
yes.
great voice.
Yeah. Lincoln Park was, they were excellent.
Yeah. Good
But
stuff.
again, their music kind of tapered off there. It wasn't as well. I guess they didn't have as big a fall off as some other bands. They were pretty decent. They had good songs.
No, they didn't fall off.
Yeah.
I was just was thinking of two great singers, so
Yeah.
I want to give them their props real quick.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Chester he was a good singer.
Good, great.
Yeah.
That dude could belt. And both of them killed themselves. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah. Chris Cornell had nothing to live for. Really?
Huh.
There's planes that leave out of Detroit. You don't have to get that depressed because you're there. Just get on a plane.
Yeah.
Fuckhead.
Yeah, it's like it's just got crazy, man. And
Yeah.
the Chester Bennington really shocked me.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about him. A lot. I don't know if I buy any of them, but there's a lot of them.
You got any offhand?
Somebody told me that he was about to blow the lid off of Hollywood and child diddling.
Really?
Yeah, that something happened to him when he was a kid, and it had
the
to.
hell?
Yeah, and somebody wanted him to freaking shut up about it. But I don't. Again, that's just rumor. I have no idea.
That cannot be verified, people. So don't get on record.
Yeah. That's like with Cobain, having an interview the day before he shoots himself, and everybody thinking he sounded perfectly fine. What the hell's the deal?
Yeah.
Or the day of. It was really close. He did a long form interview with somebody.
Cobain didn't surprise me.
No, and
Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington,
Yeah.
they surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cornell was a shock, but then you see somebody did took a video of him I think he was at the Fox Theater in Detroit and in Detroit, and he looked like ass, and he sounded like hell. Yeah, that was like within the day or 2 days before. Yeah, he looked like crap. So
That sucks.
yeah, it does, man, because the dude had unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
I mean, Soundgarden was a freaking grade A band. They really were.
And then, what was the other band he was in?
Oh shit!
We're killing ourselves. here.
With the memory loss is freaking ridiculous.
It's going to come to us, but
Oh shit!
maybe not.
Maybe not.
You got to Google that, man.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell band.
Yeah, I will.
Because that's pissing me off.
Yeah, this is too much. We got the Google
then-
machines right here.
Everybody out there, Almost Famous Radio Podcast at gmail.com. I would love for you guys to give us, some bands that's progressively got worse. Also great rock singers and shitty
Audio
rock singers.
Slave.
Audio Slave. That's it.
Yeah. He was in another band too. And they had one song that I can remember. Gosh dang it.
Corey Taylor, he sang for Stone Sour, and then he also sang for that one group that went, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like crazy how that they did all that all that music and shit. Like then he sang for Stone Sour. Like dude can fucking sing.
Right. Temple of the Dog.
Temple of the Dog.
That was the other band that he was in.
Yeah. That was a good band.
But
too.
it's funny. Some of those, that whole grunge scene, a lot of those bands, there were people going in and out of them, especially in the real early 90s.
Yeah.
So there were associations between all these people that came out of Seattle in the grunge movement. That they're all, they were in each other's bands and shit in the early days.
It's too bad nobody clotheslined Eddie Vedder and screwed his vocal cord.
No kidding, man.
Well, I guess they might have because who knows what the fuck he's singing about. I don't understand any of the shit that he sings. I mean, lyrically, if I'm listening to it, I'm like, what the hell did he just say?
Yeah.
Or sing? Whatever.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
They had a couple of songs that were decent.
They did.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say every freaking Pearl Jam song sucked, but I just didn't know what the fuck he was singing.
I don't say.
How could they put the lyrics on an album jacket when they don't even know what the fuck he was singing about?
Does it even actually tie to what he was singing anyways?
Yeah. I don't know. It was
There's somebody else like that. Oh, freaking shit, the lead singer from Motley Crue.
Vince Neil.
Vince Neil.
Yeah.
I cannot the last 10 years that he was singing, it's like, are you even fucking speaking English?
That's the time you can really know it because they were sober on that. Dr. Feelgood was a totally sober album, and that was a freaking masterpiece.
That was.
I like Motley. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
I like Motley.
I do too.
They fucked up a lot of people, man, on the Strip back in the day before they got big.
They were freaking. Yeah, they were animals.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
But they're a cool band, man. I mean, shit, man. I was watching a documentary on it on Nikki Sixx and how he woke up with a freaking needle still in his arm and shit like that. And he was clinically dead for one, and stuff like that. And he still went out and got heroin, and then he just got clean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, that whole freaking that whole biography that he wrote.
And then didn't he put the Sixth Sense? Is that what the band that he put together afterwards? And it was pretty good. Yeah, had Life is Beautiful on it.
Okay.
Yeah. That was pretty pretty good, short lived.
There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of those kind of bands.
They do that little collab thing.
And then it's just short lived. It's like I'm in between, you're in between. Let's make an album.
Let's do it. Yeah. Because it would piss, because it always pisses off other band members.
Right.
You're not involved in it and all this kind of shit. Well, you're over there raising a kid or something.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go play music.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that's how it was. I don't know. I've never been a rock singer.
Right.
Or in a band for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Motley had so many good songs. So many good songs.
From the jump.
Yeah.
From their very first record there, and then even to the last one, that I remember was they even had that Saints of Los Angeles song, and they sounded so good. I thought they were just a fantastic band.
What do you think about Metallica?
I think that they're one of the most overrated bands ever.
See, now I like them, but
I didn't say I didn't like them.
Yeah,
I liked a lot. Okay, they were great way back,
mm-hmm.
and then they progressively got corporate.
Yeah, everybody says the Black Album is where it went freaking sideways for them.
And it was a good one.
It was a very good one.
And then all of a sudden everything started sounding exactly alike.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of did.
Yeah, every song sounded just alike to me.
Yeah.
And plus they pissed me off back in the Napster days, because I had Napster when it was free, and then Lars Ulrich.
Had to go bitch about it.
They bitched about that shit, about free music. Okay, well, yeah, we were downloading free music and shit like that. And then they got it, they got the government involved. A fucking band like Metallica getting government involved.
Right.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And then now look, everything's free on YouTube.
I know.
You can listen to any damn song you want. So take that, Lars Ulrich, right up your fucking Swedish or whatever you are ass, whatever, German or whatever it is. Eat it.
Dane. He's a Dane, I think.
Okay, hell with it.
Yeah.
Danish ass, whatever.
Right.
She'll shove it up there.
Right.
Lars Ulrich. And if you want to come over here and talk about it, we will. I'm not scared of you.
You know what?
Although you're one of the best drummers ever with the feet.
Yeah.
But still, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah. They've had some great songs.
They have. But that's a good question, Metallica, because, I mean, there's a lot of ride or dies with that band.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, Metallica, they think they're the greatest band ever.
I like them.
And they're good.
But yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. That's it. They're good.
And, yeah, I don't think they're, like, one of the best. Although, and you know what's weird is they got primo people at each member that does their stuff. Jason Newsted was a great bassist.
Right.
Kurt Hammett.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
James Hetfield.
He could play the guitar and not a great singer.
But his voice,
it's perfect for what they did.
Yeah, his voice is great for the music.
And then Lars eat shit Ulrich.
Right.
Great. He's probably has the fastest feet in drumming history. Even though Neil Peart's a better drummer than anybody else lived. Yeah. I'm going to hand it to Neil Peart, and not just because they're my favorite band. If anyone's challenged me on it, go ahead.
You gotta put him up there at the top.
He's the best.
Have to. Yeah.
Yeah. My kid. I remember my kid, when he was younger, he wanted to play drums. And I said, you know what? Okay, if you want to play drums, I want to show you who you want to emulate. And I showed him Neil Peart. And even, till the day he passed, he's like, that was his drummer, was Neil Peart. He wasn't a Neil Peart by all means. But
nobody is.
But I mean, I said, if you want to learn and you really want to try to emulate somebody, do that. I mean, if you're not gonna like match him, right? But even if you have a little bit of success trying to emulate Neil Peart, you're going to be able to play drums, right? And you'll be fine. Yeah, and you'll be better than Ringo. Yeah, who wasn't an outstanding drummer? No, who was good drummers? Bonham, good one. Bonham. Keith Moon. Yeah, Keith Moon. Gosh dang it. Well, Lars, you got to put Lars there. We'll give him that credit. Piece of shit. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we got Lars. But drummer wise, like I said, Tommy Lee's pretty good. Tommy Lee's a really good drummer. He's pretty good. Got to see him live, and that dude can drum. It's pretty fun to watch him drum. He was badass.
For a marching band guy.
Yeah. The dude could play.
He can.
So, yeah, I mean, there's really not too many other outstanding drummers. Not that I'm sure there are, but there has to be. I'm sure somebody might chime in on it one of these days and say, hey, you forgot this guy, idiot. But, I just can't think of any right now.
Grohl? Yeah.
He was okay.
He's okay.
He was a pounder. He was just a beater. Yeah. He just beat the shit out of his drum.
Yeah, but Smells Like Teen Spirit.
He was on it.
That's a freaking, that's such a good drum riff.
It's such a good drum riff. Yeah.
It really is. Gosh dang, I'm trying to think. We were just talking about a band who had a great drummer, and I can't. Oh, Soundgarden. I'm trying to think of their drummers. excellent.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Never even thought about the drummer on that.
Yeah. Cameron? What the hell?
But yeah.
What? I've got it right here. I've got my Google machine tuned up. So
Get that Google machine going.
yeah.
Because we need it.
Yeah, we do. Come on, Soundgarden.
I don't even know any of Soundgarden's freaking band members' names besides Cornell.
Kim Thiel was a guitarist.
Okay.
The other, the lead guitarist.
I'm ashamed of myself for not knowing that, but
Right.
there you have it.
Yeah, Matt Cameron
Drummer.
was a drummer, and I think he's pretty damn good. Yeah, there's there. All right, drumming is, I'm sure, is so freaking hard that to do it in front of people.
To be a drummer
Yeah,
is probably the most underrated member of a band
Absolutely.
because it's hard. I mean, it's not easy to do. You got to have your feet and your hands working at different levels and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I even try to, do a drum set, stuff like that. I can do one at a time.
Right.
I can beat the shit out of some couch cushions with my
Right.
hands, but not using my feet at the same time.
No,
And so, drummer is probably the most underrated member of any band.
I think so too.
No matter how good or bad, or not, I shouldn't say bad. You're good if you're in a band. You're good. Or so if you're okay or whatever. You're still,
Well, just add singing to it.
yeah.
That's the one that
Yeah.
kills me.
Right.
Not that I really like some of the singers that were drummers, but
Phil
it's
Collins.
yeah, Phil Collins for sure.
Well, Hanley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Henley too.
Dude from Night Ranger.
Yeah.
So he sang
Yep.
lead on some. He's a drummer too.
Yep.
So
Not a whole lot of them though. Lead singer
No.
drummer combinations.
yeah, at least sang on
Yeah.
on stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. That's this is a subject that's really it's kind of computer intensive because you can't remember all
Right.
these people. You
You
just
got to
can't.
get it going.
So
Here's the great thing about it is that we hadn't even scratched the surface on half the shit that we wanted to talk about on here, so we're gonna have to do another one,
yeah.
and then we'll just do it because
I think when you do something like this, I think 3 or 4 people would be better
Oh, I think so.
because what I forget, somebody else will remember.
Right.
With the two of us, we're just both forgetting the same people over and over.
Exactly.
So
That's how we do it.
yeah, that's how we operate.
So, we'll get some people in here. I'd like
Yeah.
to get actually Ron in here because
Yeah.
he's a music guy. Even Jason, for that matter, he listens to a lot of music. He's gonna. I can't talk country with him because he likes a lot of country stuff. I don't really.
I can't
listen
do
to
it.
that too much.
Old stuff maybe, but
Yeah, old stuff, but yeah, I mean, no matter who it is, everybody has their opinion on music,
yeah.
and that's what's great about this topic because we can go on. I think this might be one of our winter topics. Just going on. It's just
Yeah, you could and you could incorporate it into any number of other subjects. You
Sure.
can do you could do 15 minutes of this.
Right. Well, I mean, we could go and have other people, and then we
Right.
have we could do the same subject. We don't have to have we're like, oh man, they just touched on that last time. Well, we have other people,
Right. And now you got other opinions.
and plus it's our show. We can do whatever the hell we want. Right.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think this is a perfect time to wrap it up.
Okay.
Don't you?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Ricker.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this
a lot
is
of
kind
fun.
of, we were just like, we caught him out of deer season. He's a deer hunting dude, except for he's got a lot of poison oak on him right now. So good thing nobody wants to rub up against him.
No.
But, you can find us anywhere on your, wherever platform you listen to. Like I said, Almost Famous Radio podcast at gmail.com. That's where I'd like everybody to check out, man. I'd love to have anybody that listens to this, go on there and then tell us what they want to do. Let us know, man.
Yeah, topics.
Yeah. If you want to hear something, let's do it. And we want to thank everybody that listens to us, from coast to coast here in this country to around the world, which we are. We have worldwide listeners. Even though from a certain person, I know that nobody's listening to this show. So all you nobodies out there,
Thanks.
from coast to coast and around the world, we thank you.